Welcome back. My name is Andrew Jutsis, and today we're going to take a look at the next chapter in our UTD Under the Hood. In our next chapter, we're looking at UTD's mission and purpose. Now, again, if you go to our website, you can go under the About Us tab, and you can see sort of the written, UTD mission and purpose right over there. It's right on that tab. But today I want to talk a little bit about it in the sense of, sort of personal one-on-one with you and I, rather than sort of these written bulleted point statements. And, first and foremost, I think that UTD's mission or purpose was to really bring the ideology that's in our core, in our roots, which started out, let's say, as the Hogarthian gear configuration, the cave diving skills, that then got sort of amalgamated together into project-based diving. We started doing some big projects. This was our roots, right? And these big projects and things we learned on these projects, as things progress, we learned that becoming a unified team, being consistent, all the different covenants that we're going to look at later on in our series, started to become really, really important to the success of these projects, where other teams were coming together, for example, in Wakala and failing miserably at researching Wakala. The WKPP, which is, part of our history, were being very successful and still continue to be successful using this philosophy, including a unified team, a consistent approach, blah, blah, blah. Now, yeah, we can argue the nuts and bolts. But that's not. Those are tools. It's the mindset. And so our mission and our purpose, first and foremost, is to bring that mindset, right, to the general public, to take this very advanced form of diving and the things we learn in exploration and have learned since the 2000s, and then, in the projects in Mexico in 2010, and more projects in China and Britannic, and, all these different projects that I and other team members within Unified Team Diving have done over the last 30 years. We've learned a ton. And you would say, yeah, but what has doing a 400-foot dive got to do with teaching an open water student? Everything. Because one of our core mission statements and purpose is that we are consistent from day one. I only teach and do what I do. And therefore, I never have to change. And yeah, you can ask a lot of people. They'll take the open water class. They'll buy the cheapest mask, the BC. We see these regulators on sale, and they'll have to change all their gear 6 months later, and then they'll change it again and again and again. And pretty soon they have a garage full of gear, and they go, "Oh, that's why I like DIR, because it's one consistent gear set." And I'm like, that's the furthest thing from it. It's not about the equipment. It's about your mindset, about the way you approach. And so creating a thinking diver who thinks like you do, a team approach to everything, whether it be a protocol, a procedure, a standard, a configuration, it's the mindset. Even decompression is about thinking divers. It's not about following blindly, and I'm looking intentionally at my left hand, that's how most people, blindly following a computer and saying, it says move to next spot, but not really understanding why. Or gas management. Come up when you see red. Or be on the boat with 500 PSI, 35 bar. What does that mean? If you teach that in the open water level, by the time they become advanced divers and then, then on to technical diving and so forth, they don't know how to calculate their gas management. They don't know how to calculate their sacred. They don't know what rock bottom means. They don't know how to save enough gas for 2 divers and all the other protocols that you learn. Now, in Unified Team Diving, our mission and purpose was to take that and say, look, when you are back in a cave at 3,000 feet back and 300 feet deep and so forth, you have to have done the calculation to know that you and your teammate can air share and have enough gas to get home. Let's take that philosophy, that mindset, and give it to the open water diver and say, yeah, we are teaching an open water class. And you have to reserve enough gas for you and your teammate to do an emergency procedure such as an air share And then start up doing a regular ascent rate, making your regular decompression safety stops at 50, 40, 30, 20, whatever it is, feet. And then making a safe exit. And actually at the end of that, going, wow, we walked away easily, comfortably, without any problems. Not, I'll never do that again. Because if you remember back in my get to know AG segment, if you go back, you can look at it. You'll see I talk about one of those experiences, and I vowed never to have that again. And therefore, that has become one of our bullet points in our mission statement, is to create a community of thinking divers that adhere to the higher standards. We've got many other purposes. We want to create instructors that disseminate this information. So it starts from the top down. It starts where I, as an agency, want to provide the best materials that I can possibly provide, as in the modern world today. So online courses and a mobile app that you can watch it, and HTML5 and whatever corny words you want to go. But the idea is to get you this information. Provide these videos and voiceovers and PowerPoints and a way of learning, the new way of learning. Not just solely online. Because remember, as I've always said, it starts from the top down. The ethos that I take with my instructor trainers, they take with their instructors, then they take with their students. And that ethos and that mission is to invest. Of all the things that we are really amazing about, our mission is to invest in our students, to invest in our instructors, to invest in our instructor trainers. And that's really the core of everything. It's not about wham-bamming through massive amounts of students. I don't teach, and I don't have an award for teaching 5,000 students this year. And I know an instructor who claims he does. Point is, this is not a factory. Our mission is to take each and every one of you and really instill a set of values, a way of thinking, a way of really approaching your diving, your team, and then ultimately your exploration or whatever you want to do next. You take that mindset, okay, and you take that education and you use it, in a manner that is, safe, and you become comfortable and confident and competent and all those fancy words and terminology. But at the end of the day, it's about the mindset. And that ultimately is our mission, is to get that change of behavior, to get you to think, and then be able to be part of this community that thinks in this manner. Now, of course, if you're an instructor, you want to join an agency that supports you. So another big part of our mission, right, is to have standards and procedures and playbooks, protocol manuals that help you as an instructor teach your students in a consistent manner. Because remember, a little while ago it became the cool thing to mess with students underwater. So all of a sudden you've got these instructors running out and buying air guns, and they have no strategy. They have no, the agency's not backing them. They have no knowledge of how to do this. So what do? They run out and they're like, run an air gun behind somebody's ear and flip off his valve and rip his mask off and, whoa, look at you, whoa, I messed with you. Whoa, you learned something. The student's walking away going, I don't know if I learned anything, but wow, that was crazy. We don't do that. That's not our mission. Our mission is to build you. Like I said, we invest in you as if I was an instructor, I'm going to invest in you as a student. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to shore up your holes. So I'm going to do critical skill training. We're going to talk about that later. And in that training package, it's very methodical. It's very well thought out. It's very much a strategy. Not just messing with you. And then we go back and we discuss it and we show you on the video and blah, blah, blah. And we invest, where most people can get certified in 6 hours, at UTD, it might take you 2, 3, 4, 5 days. because we invest. Later I want to talk about, and I'll show you our different courses and our course structure and all that. But even in our course structure, you can see like some agencies, you can get full cave certified in less than 4 days. UTD is 12 days, but there's massive breaks between them because you've got to get experience as well. So it ends up being that it's maybe 12, not consecutive days, but 12 days of training, but it might take you a year to do. Whereas other agencies, 4 days from zero to hero, they call it. That's not our mission. We want to make sure that we invest in you. We invest in our instructors, whether it be our website, our back end of a website. We spent, I don't even want to tell you the number, thousands and thousands of developing our own software to run our training agency with all these modules, from quizzes to this is not stuff WordPress that you find all over the internet and sort of packaged together and you get sort of a hobnodge of software. This is our own custom software for our instructor base to use. They can advertise events. They can, their classes. The materials are integrated. There's so much to it. I can't explain to you. But the point is, we invested as an agency. So our mission there and our purpose is to provide you with the most sophisticated materials that we are possible and capable of. I'm sure some people would like 3D animation and have the glasses on and be living in a virtual. Again, it has to be realistic because it also has to be competitive. The materials have to be competitively priced. The certification cards have to be competitive, so on and so on. So these are the constraints as well. But this is what our agency does, is we spend time every single day making the agency better for the instructors, instructor trainers, and ultimately the students. So it's something they're proud of. And it's not just, that we have a pretty C card, but when you show that card, people go, wow, yes, you are trained by UTD. You got through that class. Amazing. We actively tell our instructors, if that person is not ready to meet that level, they fail. It's not you bought certification. So many agencies are, they paid for certification, so they pass. There are no constraints. In fact, nobody fails. Now we say, yes, sure, nobody fails if they keep trying. We always give you a path to completion. But I can tell you a lot of people, and it's actually kind of strange. I'm going to tell you an anecdote now, a story now. I have 3 students that came in from Norway. Great guys. They wanted their Tech 2 class. They did 12 days of training with me. At the end, they didn't get a C card, but they've never been happier in their life. They've never been, they got the most amazing training for 12 days, right? They walked away, every single one of them, ecstatic. They're going to join us on our next project. They are UTD zealots now. And they weren't from UTD. They came from another agency. I told them, when you come in, you can come in at the level that you're at. But if you don't make my standard, we'll just keep training till you do. You don't have to start on the bottom. I didn't say, sorry guys, I know you're from a different agency, so off you go down to the bottom, go all the way down to essentials. And they're like, yeah, I'm not going to go down to essentials. I mean, I can do a back kick, So this UTD doesn't do that. We say, hey, you can come in anyway. If you need Tech 2 and you were Tech 1 for different agencies, you can come in at Tech 2. I can't guarantee you'll pass, but you can come in. And they did. And they had a fantastic 12 days here in San Diego. Learned mountains. And they didn't pass. And they didn't walk out of here going, we didn't pass, this is terrible. They were ecstatic. They were like, we can't wait to go home and train and get better and then come back and earn that certification. And that's another big part of our mission, is you earn certification. You earn that C card. You didn't buy it. You bought education. When you pay me for, a fair day's wages, so to speak, for my time, for my expertise, for my knowledge. And if you meet our standards, yes, then I'll give you a certification card that says you go there, because that's what the world wants. In reality, like I've always said, I want to be a coach. I don't really want to be, you met the standard, there's your C card. I'm really a coach. I will take you from here to where you want to go with your diving, And that's a big part of our mission and our purpose. But like I said, you know, you can always go onto the website. You can always look under our mission and purpose, and you can see in bullet point everything I've been talking about in a much more formal written way. If you have any questions about UTD, please go ahead and email us at info@unifiedteamdiving. And as always, safe diving.